Holly.
Wow!
Tommy.
Oh! Hi, question from Miss Bellamy. In episode 2F09, when he plays Scratchy's skeleton like a xylophone, he strikes the same rib twice in succession, yet he produces two clearly different tones. I mean, what are we, to believe that this is some sort of magic xylophone or something? Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
So that's what this episode's going to be like.
Wow.
What was that?
Do you not like it?
I don't get it.
Those are nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Wait, can we, before we say anything, can we just look at Kane's notebook that is open up?
Ooh.
These are presumably Kane's thoughts on Game of Thrones.
It's just a bunch of wieners.
Are you kidding me, Kane?
And I'm not even done.
Wait, are these your thoughts on Game of Thrones?
Or wieners?
Oh, and it's
wieners.
just Hodor. He just wrote Hodor.
Hodor. Hold the door. Welcome to Well Actually, a podcast for nerds who think they know everything. I'm your host, Kane Holloway, and we're sitting in the two other hosts, the three named Holly, Annabelle with one L, Brown.
Oh.
Fun fact, Brown.
Oh.
Don't have any of those today. Yikes.
No fun facts. Don't worry about
Sometimes
it.
I get stoked when like it's something that I know so much about already, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to. I did so much other independent research on the show itself that I didn't go like, oh, let me do the specific things I do for the show. You know what
Holly,
I mean?
do you know what's good about you being Fun Fact Brown?
What?
Is randomly, if you have a fun fact,
It'll
guess
just
what? You're
pop
Fun
out-
Fact Brown.
Pop
There
out of
you
my
go.
damn brain.
So there's no need for any kind of research in that,
Cool,
in that
that's
area.
cool
Plus, that's not
nickname.
what this episode's about anyway.
Whew, okay.
And then we
Stop
also
sweating.
have the Guns,
Hey.
the McGuan,
Me?
the Mad Queen,
Oh,
Daenerys.
You did it.
Tommy Guns is here.
that's right.
And we can workshop it, but I wanted to call this series of since we're no quiz, everybody, for all those that came to listen, like, are they gonna do a quiz?
No, we're gonna
on?
well actually the shit out of you guys.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
guys about to get stumped.
No quiz because with Game of Thrones. I don't know about you guys, but after the finale,
Yeah.
I have been incensed,
I completely understand.
and I can't stop looking up things and about what the show could or should or would have been. I looked up some George R.R. Martin interviews about how he writes and his entire process, and
Interesting.
and why the show overall, if you take the last, I guess, 3 seasons, it's not a good show.
Wait, what?
Game of Thrones is not a good show.
Wait, pump the brakes, my dude.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, can I? You're not gonna like this. You're a later fan to this show, are you not?
Burn, sick burn. High five.
Slaps.
Freaking
You got
suck
me.
it, dude.
Kane's a
Hey, dog.
later. God damn, there is dog hair in my eye.
Ooh,
Kane is a
save that for later.
fan to the show, but just like Kane does, he gets very engrossed in things. So it's not like you just casually watched it.
Oh, no.
Once you started watching it, you couldn't stop.
Yes.
And I that is like I think a testament to the show. So fuck
And
off.
it's a good show. It had
you
me
just
sucked
said-
in.
Did he not just say it was a bad show?
But if you look at it overall, it's a bad show.
Overall,
I think it's a game-changing show.
If
I'm
you-
about to kick you out this window.
Yeah.
But there's things that I wanted to see that I think would have made it really specifically for guys like me, of Slytherin House, which is a different series, obviously. But I think
Wait
it's
a
apropos for when we get to
Interesting.
the big chunk of
Okay.
the thing.
I'm interested
I think
to
it
hear your thoughts.
completely fell off once they lost their source material. It's like they did it, they're the same guys have been writing it the entire time, the David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, Dumb and Dumber, and they... D&D. You didn't need to. Let me hold your hand there.
Double D.
They did I think they did a pretty good job of adapting the source material from the first 5 books.
Right.
And then when they like, you know, like eliminating boring stuff, like making certain people's stuff a little more interesting. Like Sansa's plot lines in the books were very boring and dry to read.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But then
Every time I saw the chapter that said Sansa, I was like,
I completely agree.
ugh.
And even Daenerys was sometimes a little boring to read.
Sometimes, yeah.
But once you see it on screen, they really made it come alive.
Oh, yeah.
Then once they lost their source material and they had to come up with their own ingenuity, it just felt like anytime they didn't know what to do, they're like, magic.
Yeah.
Then we're not going to explain it. More fighting, because there was far less dialogue once they lost out of their source material,
Yeah.
and their dialogue, the writing became bad.
Yeah. You know what I'll say about the show? I like the show's fighting because Battle of the Bastards is one of the best fights I've ever
really
seen.
good.
That was
really,
awesome.
really good.
That episode, I had never been so, like, I was almost having an anxiety attack when John's getting, like, drowned in the bodies. I was like, oh my God, what's
too.
going to happen? I
Yes.
was, like, sweating.
Me too.
And I was like, that was TV at its best. It was amazing. But the thing that the book does is it gives the characters inner monologue. Like, it gives their thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so later in the show, you never really have, you never really have the characters' motives. So Daenerys, she was going to burn down the kingdom the whole time.
No, disagree.
We'll get to that. She was going to do it the whole time.
No, she wasn't.
She was crazy in
No,
the
she
books.
wasn't.
No,
she
It was her
wasn't.
destiny. It was her destiny.
There is literally no convincing me of this.
The warlocks?
I'm the most stubborn person in the world about this.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But
unless there's something in the books because I never read the
Yeah.
books, so I can't.
I don't know. To my
Comment.
my recollection, there wasn't.
If there's something in the books that then puts this into perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that probably she was destined to be mad.
but
as
what if
shit.
we're talking about just the show?
But if we're talking about the show,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
it makes no
nothing in the
fucking
show.
sense.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The show is missing is you don't have that dialogue, so you don't know the motives.
Yeah.
You don't know why she did that.
Sorry, I yelled at you.
You don't. It's okay. You don't know why Bran being the king was so epic because he ends up being the greatest villain in the show because he knew he was gonna become king. I think because he has green sight,
Ooh.
which means you can basically see the future, not entirely, but he knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's why he said, "Why do you think I've come all this way?"
And that's why he got Dany and Jon to work together to kill the Night King, Bran's biggest enemy. And that's why he led the cookies to Dany to make her go crazy because now she knows that her lover is her biggest rival. And that's why he encouraged Sam to tell Dany or to tell Jon that he was her nephew.
Yeah, this is cool. What you're saying is very cool.
All
and
that is great.
That's
But
awesome.
the book would have explained that, like at least I hope that it would have, but
Yeah.
the show never did. The show was just like, here's what happened. And then you're like, what? And you're like
Right.
piecing it all together. But the book does such a good job, like of making the characters these amazing people. Like Theon Greyjoy is the worst person in the world in the book. Like if you read his monologues, every girl he looks at, he goes, I wonder if she's a virgin. I'd give it to her hard, and that's what he says. So then in the show, when he gets his wang chopped off, it's so much more like, no way,
Right.
But in the show, when you're watching it, you're kind of like, ooh, Theon, geez, he got it rough right there.
Wang chopped off.
Everybody wing chop tonight.
Wang chopped tonight.
But I feel like because I was thinking about Theon's Wang.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do.
Falling
Yeah.
asleep.
I normally do.
And I was thinking about they did a really good job of showcasing that this dude really only gives a shit about
Yeah.
himself and he
Yeah.
can only see so far in front of him.
Yeah.
And what he sees is what the fuck's his name? The oldest son at the red wedding that gets taken out.
Rob?
When Rob needs Theon's father's help.
Yeah.
And for the war.
Theon's trying to get with his sister first off.
First of all, then when he gets there, he's told by his dad that he's a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
So then again, only seeing a few steps ahead of himself, he goes and takes Winterfell.
Yeah.
And then again, only seeing a few steps ahead of himself, doesn't realize that his boys have betrayed him.
Yeah.
And then and that's why it was so easy to manipulate that guy because this guy can only think with his dick.
Yeah.
And then once it's chopped off, I felt like that was very appropriate.
I thought they did a good job with Theon.
Yeah, me too.
He was one of the only character arcs that I was like happy with how they ended it.
Yeah.
How they started and ended.
I was so sad when he died at the end. I was like,
I was like, he better fucking die.
Well, yeah.
Give me deaths, honey.
Yeah.
Die.
die.
Like, you know, when was that guy that he was like, I was like, Russell Brand is in an interview once, and someone's like, oh, all you do is have sex with women, and he's just like, bam, you're pregnant, bang, you're pregnant, bang, you're pregnant. Like, that's how I feel about Game of Thrones. Like, bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead.
You're dead.
But I hated pretty much every episode.
Yeah, should we?
I started to feel a lot like, especially when episode 1 of season 8 started, that I was not on board just with the show in general anymore. I just stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
When they're walking through Winterfell, the Unsullied and everything, and that big unspoken walk, I was trying to enjoy it from a show don't tell storytelling point. No one's talking. It's just all visuals.
Right.
And you get to read the actors' faces as they emote all these emotions.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
Smart.
And
Very smart.
That's my high school diploma coming at you.
Whoa. Hey.
And
easy.
so I was digging it, but I also was like, nothing's going to happen. I can already feel nothing's going to happen in this episode. And nothing does. And then the next episode is just a bunch of people getting moments. And we talked about this, where everybody gets a moment, but then all those people that got moments live.
Yeah.
So it's unimportant. That's
like
that episode 2 stinks.
Yeah, they felt like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
Why didn't they just spend more time on it?
I have 2 questions. Why and how dare you?
And how dare you?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. HBO, I guess they offered them 20 episodes.
Or 10 seasons.
Or 10 seasons. They offered them so much more time, and they're like, we're going to go make Star Wars. And they left. They did 6 episodes and left.
Yeah.
Just been handed off to a new group of people.
I feel like they're mad at us. I feel like it was after the season finale, I was like, was it something I did? Like, was it me?
What did you do?
What did I do to deserve this?
Well, what you did was complain about their writing.
Yeah.
And I thought 6 was good. I thought season 6 was good. I thought that had a lot of great things. But they spent like Cersei blowing up the Capitol.
Oh my God, that was great.
Was great.
So cool.
And then her son taking his own life, finally finishing off the prophecy.
Yeah.
But that was the last time they gave a shit about prophecies.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then I guess King's Landing, they all just collectively decided that I guess Cersei's cool. Even though she bombed the Capitol. I mean, there's
like
no
the people
real
of King's Landing?
Yeah, there's no real evidence, I think, to connect her. But everyone's got to know, hey, Cersei was supposed to be at the Capitol, and she wasn't. And now she isn't. And therefore, she the only one alive and shit. So I would say that, I have to say, my absolute most hated piece of dialogue.
Love it. Keep going.
Comes from, in the series finale, comes from our one and only Arya Stark. When she comes to Jon.
Don't. Oh, I hated that scene.
And she says to Jonathan, Jonathan Snows.
Johnny boy.
Jonathan Snowden, I got to tell you, we need to take her out because I know a killer when I see one. You mean the crazy lady that burned a bunch of innocent people for no reason?
Right.
Well, you got a real nose for this stuff, don't you? Are you a detective, Arya?
It was that. Okay, that was their probably only nod to the Faceless Men, right?
Maybe.
I'm assuming that was their way of saying, like, Arya's done shit.
Yeah, that's
But so is Jon.
Right.
She's basically talking to herself. I know a killer when you know what I've been through, bitch?
Yeah, she fucking kills people all the goddamn time.
That drove me crazy too, because so Jon walks up past the army. That's okay. He's Dany's boyfriend, kind of. And then Arya is like sneaking behind them, and then she gets past an entire army, and she's next to Jon.
Right.
And I was like, what? Huh? Like...
I hated that. I hated everything about that last episode. I didn't think anything was done well. And you know what? Everyone's gonna argue like the cinematography, the this, the that. I'm like, okay, that wasn't D.B. Weiss and David Benioff's writing, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like, that's not their plot. That's not this. Like, I get that it's beautifully CGI'd and beautifully stylized and stuff like that, but that doesn't make anything. I can watch the most beautiful film in the world, and if the dialogue is crap, why would I like it? Or the plot, I guess, because Mandy has like no dialogue and it's beautiful.
Sure.
The movie Mandy, but it's beautifully stylized and a cool, interesting plot. You know, like
And they have a cool, interesting plot. And then again, they wanted to make, like you said, Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so they in 6 episodes they just decided to say fuck it. So I wanted to call this series where we don't have quiz questions with a guest who knows their thing. Instead, we decided to pull a 180. Is it a 180? Well, whatever. We decided to pull something else.
We're pulling it.
High school diploma.
And I wanted to call a series of where we rewrite a show, a movie, or whatever to where we think it should be what we wanted to see. And a lot of people are doing this, and I figured
the most actually thing you can do.
It is the nerdiest goddamn thing you can do. And so I figured we could call the series where we rewrite something, What'd You Do? What did you do? And now we're here to help. What'd you do?
What did you do?
What did you do?
Look what you made me do. That's what I want to say. Taylor Swift was fucking right.
She was right.
Fucking D.B. Weiss, David Benioff.
What a big bunch of bitches.
I hate them.
Big bunch of dumb David D having name bitches. All right, so I guess who wants to go first with their? I'm gonna rewrite the show. I put up for season 7 and 8 because I had thoughts for 7 things, small and dramatic things that change season 8 as a whole.
Right. I mean, I don't know about you, Tommy. There's when I was like thinking about what I wanted to rewrite, it was more like what I would have done with what I had now. Like what I would have done differently this season, and mostly like the few last episodes, and how even if they want to do 6 episodes, how you can expedite the storytelling process and still be true to the story.
Right.
So that's where I was
Cool.
That's what I was thinking
gonna
too.
do.
I love it.
So we should probably go. Me and Tom will go first, and Kane will go last because Kane has a book. So if you're listening, this will be 7 hours long.
Yeah.
I'll try and speed through it, but I just had to get all of my ideas out.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read the whole thing verbatim. But
Hodor.
I mean, I don't have I didn't write anything out like Kane did. For me, it's going to be more of like a fluid thought process of
perfect
shit. So I guess I'll just go first.
I love
talking.
it.
Take it away.
You do
I'm
you.
talking, babes. What? So let's do it. Number one thing I would have done differently in this season, that would have changed the entire trajectory of the season. Night King would not have died episode 3.
Oh, thank you.
Go fuck yourself, D.B. Weiss, David Benioff. You idiots, you stupid cunts. Night King should not have died. There should have not been either Night King shouldn't have died, or there shouldn't have been a battle there at all for the Night King. Night King is he is the everything since episode 1 that we've been gaining towards as the greatest villain, as the symbol of there are things greater in life than our pettiness and politics, that obviously bring us together. So why the fuck would he die?
Right.
Something that they could have done, I think, is Night King could have gone to King's Landing. Initially, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought it wasn't going to go to Winterfell. It was going to be a fake out. Night King flies to King's Landing,
So I thought too.
does what Daenerys did and burns the fucking city down because he can do that.
Oh my God, that's so much better.
Yeah.
He can kill all those people, he can either burn the city down or kill all the people, get a dope army, and he can. I mean, I wouldn't even been that pissed if he killed Cersei. I might have actually, and I want to be a little sassy baby. I might have been a little pissed because I'd like to see her have a more gratifying death like Joffrey did. But he could have created a even bigger army, gone down there, and then it just would have made sense for the King's Landing to be at ruins. Like, to have Dany do it makes no fucking sense to me. I don't care what anyone says. There is nothing in the show that alludes to her doing this. There is not.
Right.
There really isn't. If you're gonna tell me it's like, she turned her dragons and Cedricars on all the people that haven't bent the knee to her, or on all the slave masters. I'm like, yeah, in fucking episode 1, Ned Stark has to carry out an execution. of Game of Thrones, in Game of Thrones.
This is the execution.
And it's an example to his kids to say it's hard. This is what being a ruler is. Sometimes you don't have to do things you want to do but you have to be seen as a leader. And every single character does it. Jon Snow does it. Dany does it.
He hangs a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
He hangs the kid that knifed him in the heart.
Yeah, every single character has done this. Arya has killed countless people.
She poisoned a bunch of people.
So to say,
the phrase,
and you can't say all of them are, whatever. That's
unless they said something to the effect of the ladies couldn't drink, so they made it so that the women of the phrase, who have obviously been under the rule of Filch, then they're like, oh well, the ladies aren't allowed to drink wine.
Yeah,
it's like, okay. Way to go,
so
David.
that would have been one trajectory, but to keep Cersei alive, which I would have wanted to do to give her more screen time, they could keep the stupid battle of Winterfell, but lose. They would not win. They would not fucking win. Also, they wouldn't go to the goddamn catacombs. Have you seen any of the videos of the cast talking about this season and how much they're like, what the fuck was this? It's First of all, it's hilarious.
Yes.
Even Teeter Dinklage has a.
Did you say Teeter Dinklage?
I said.
It's Teeter.
I said Liddy to Titty. Titty
nice.
Dinklage. Peter PP.
It's Teeter Pinklage.
He did a video in which someone was like asking him about Battle of Winterfell, and he's like, "Yeah, they must have forgotten about." The writers must have forgotten about all the dead bodies in the catacombs.
Yeah.
So either put them in the catacombs and have there be a secret passageway to get them out of there. But let's just say that they lose. A lot of their army is gone, but they still have their dragons. Like either there's something happens in which the Night King gets injured, so he retreats, but then he goes back to get more army in King's Landing kind of thing. And then a lot more people die. And so there's just Winterfell is kind of ruined because that's where we all started, and it'd be kind of poetic if it kind of went to flames. Winterfell is ruined, and now they have to regroup, and their still common enemy is battling the Night King. And so therefore they have to get Cersei on their side.
Who lives in the battle of Winterfell?
Dany, Jon, Arya, Sansa, Tyrion, that's all I think should live.
Really?
Okay. You can argue, Brienne or Jaime. Jaime lives, but I think
Brienne would have died.
I think Brienne should have died. Tormund. Who else is there? Sam could die.
Sam should have died.
No way.
So long ago.
He served his purpose. He fucking figured out the Targaryen shit. So,
yes, exactly.
No way. Sam's the best.
But that's all. I definitely think Dany and Jon and Arya and Sansa and Tyrion should be alive.
So who sits on the Iron Throne at the end of yours?
Well, I'm not done.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I'm expediting it, I swear. I'll be fast
Easy,
about
Kane.
it.
No, I'm so sorry.
So then we get to where they need to go to King's Landing and convince Cersei to join their army. They need this army to defeat the Night King because the Night King is on his way down there. Something like that. And it's more of a we have no choice kind of scenario. We have to all work together and we have to do whatever this evil bitch wants. And what she wants is Dany to bend the knee and Jon and everyone to bend the knee. And because Dany and Jon are moral, good people, they fucking do it. Dany would not kill all those innocent people. She would save them. She would do whatever she could to save them. So they're all on the same side, and then they battle the Night King. And then I'm trying to think what the fuck I would have happen. Obviously, oh, fuck. I remember I watched this video about how the Night King should have died. And I'm going off on a tangent here. But
How should he have died?
What?
How should he have died?
Well, think about he's pretty infallible. The only just dragon glass or whatever. I think that's pretty stupid that dragon glass can kill him. He's so strong. Don't make dragon glass kill him. And I watched this video that tied in the symbolism and the tree that created him to be the only thing that could kill him. So during the big battle at the King's Landing or whatever, I don't know how we get there, but at some point they're back at the tree where the children of, what are they called?
Children of the Forest.
Children of the Forest created the Night King.
Yeah.
They're back at the tree because that's the only thing that can kill him is somehow piercing him into the tree can also what gave him life with this power takes away this power. And so Dany is. Wait, but then also if you kill the Night King, then anything that had been brought back to life would die. So then Jon would die. Does this make sense? So Dany's then faced with the choice.
Ooh, I like that.
Dany's faced with the choice: save the one I love, Jon, or kill the Night King and then also kill Jon. And so they're at the tree where Dany's at the tree with the Night King because she's the only one there because they both have dragons and they're there. Whatever. I'm missing some strings here. And
I think just to go back a little bit, I could be wrong, but I think the Night King was made with dragon glass. So I think
is that?
that's why he's weak.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I could be wrong.
No, he was. I looked it up.
Okay.
He was? Okay.
I still think it'd be like cool to see it come full circle of like this whole Children of the Forest thing because they really didn't touch much on that.
So, but since he was made at the tree in Winterfell.
It wasn't
Well,
no
he
tree in
wasn't.
Winterfell.
He was made north of the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, because he was made, the Children of the Forest made him because they were trying to step
Oh, that
back.
was a different tree.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a different tree, but they were trying to push back man. So then they made the Night King to like push him back.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the Night King, his only goal was to kill humanity. So that's all he's doing is just killing everyone.
Sick.
Sick.
So
Sick
Dany,
bones,
is not the Mad Queen, she is a dope human, and I think she's great.
I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's a great
Dany for
social
Perez.
influencer. She is battling the Night King on her own, and the only way to kill him is like pierce him into the tree. And also then she like burns the entire tree. So the tree is no longer there. And so in doing so, she like burns the tree. She's also there to get him there. But as we've seen, like fire cannot kill Dany. So he's dead with the dragon glass piercing the tree. The tree is burned. She's alive.
Okay.
Just another like tie-in of why the fuck she can't be burned kind of shit.
Right.
Then Jon is dying. Jon is basically dead. Whatever. That's just one way to kill somebody off. Gotta get somebody dead.
Get somebody dead. And I
Also-
like him going out. He's connected. He's also connected
to saving humanity.
You say, yeah. So
Yeah.
he has to
Yeah.
die. That's why he came back.
Yeah.
Was to aid in, and if he's not the one that directly kills the Night King, he still was a part of it, which is why he's then sacrificed again.
Now we get so that's cool. That's solved. Now Cersei's kind of backed into a corner because she realizes she doesn't have the power anymore. People see that Dany has saved everybody and they're on her side. They want her as ruler. Like they're turning against Cersei because Cersei is essentially the Mad Queen. She's the one that's gone corrupt with power, not Dany. Never has. I like her. And Cersei. No, Dany. Fuck. And we're back at the Red Keep where Jaime is trying to convince Cersei to bend the knee to Dany, and Cersei is having none of it. And I don't remember what I thought of here, but essentially I wanted Jaime to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
Takes off the mask.
I
It's
wanted that
Arya.
too. Oh.
It's not Jaime.
Whoa.
It's Arya after all. Also, Cersei was never fucking pregnant. It was a trick to trick Jaime into like
tricky.
being on her side.
That's what I
Because
think
why
was
the fuck
happening
was she
too.
pregnant at all? Yeah.
Goes against the prophecy.
So yeah, and then like Dany can rule in that ending. Dany would be on the Iron Throne, and then Sansa can still be the leader of Winterfell. Arya would be named. Arya could be the master of the armies, not Grey Worm. Grey Worm, I don't know. I just think Arya should have a better role. She should be.
Oh yeah, just instead of traveling around.
Yeah, not Christopher Columbus.
But that's what she wanted.
Oh,
it's
I have
not.
Arya
She
day
always
off.
wanted
No,
that.
she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No.
Wait a minute, did she?
Yeah, she always wanted to be. She never wanted to be in charge of anything.
But she
never
loves
wanted
her
to be,
family so goddamn much. Why the fuck would she just leave them forever?
She always. Well, she's not leaving them forever. I thought that was bullshit. That she was just like, all right, see ya. But she was never gonna stay in Winterfell once it was over.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's one of those small town girls that's like, I want to see what the big city has. And then she goes out and she becomes a newscaster or something.
Yeah.
What Hallmark movie is
Yeah,
this?
come
I don't
on,
know.
Bailey. No.
Bailey, is that her
Newscaster.
name?
No, there's a girl on a rival cross country team in my hometown, and now she's a newscaster. So that was like really funny.
Whoa, Bailey Holly, if you're out there, you idiot. I'm just kidding.
No, congrats.
But
You're
that's
killing it.
pretty much it. Like, I'm trying to think of other loose ends I would tie up. Jamie would never sleep with Brienne. They're just
That was
they're just a respectful friendship that truly respect each other and knight each other.
That was so weird.
And Sansa would get a better ending than just being picked or not picked over Bran. Are you fucking kidding me? If you're gonna, the only thing if they had just in the last episode where the camera was on Bran and Sansa, or Bran, I keep calling him Bran and Sansa. Which, fuck you for naming character Bran and Bran. Get out of here, you idiot.
And you don't kill one of them like in season 3.
Yeah, I know it's Brandon, but whatever.
Well, Braun's not that popular in the books, but the actor was so good that everyone was like, let's give him more screen time.
Oh, that's why. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But in the books, like he's kind of, but he's not really like that big of a.
He's just
sure.
around whoring it up.
Yeah, basically.
Being a real
Sylvian and master of coin.
Come on, Bran.
Yeah, Sansa, like that last shot at the PTA meeting when they when they were like who Tyrion, who kind of seemingly has a kinship with Sansa that nobody has, says who here's the best storyline, and then they say Bran. I fully expected them to say Sansa because yeah, sure, Jon has a great storyline too, amazing, stunning.
Stunning. Look at him.
Arya, amazing storyline. Tyrion, amazing. Jamie, amazing story. Oh, he's dead. But but if they had just said Sansa, I would have been like, oh, thank God. Like at least some, but at least they have a Stark we wouldn't have expected to be the leader, and somebody that deserves it would have become ruler and that would have done a good job.
Right, and also, why does Tyrion know Bran's story?
Sorry about that. I confused the shit out of you.
Yeah, they said that's the one thing that I'll get into my complaints.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
you done?
That's pretty much it with mine. I know I probably have some things where it's like, well, what about this, Holly? Well, you know what? I'm not a writer. I don't write the show. But there was some loose ends where it's like the magical stuff. They needed to end the show more on a magical note. They needed to tie in all those symbols somehow of those like fucking symbols of the Children of Forest, all those swirly shit.
Oh.
They could have done that with the killing of the Night King. Have everything be swirly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I needed something more magical. I needed Dany's storyline to be more true to her character from the show, and Cersei to have a more epic death, and then have somebody more important die. I mean, have Jon die instead of Dany because he never wanted to be back alive in the first place.
Right.
So that's that's one way I would have wanted to see it.
I love the Night King smoking everybody. I love that Jon has a connection to that, and that gives him, there's a reason that he was brought back to life.
Yeah.
All of that is great. I do like the idea that Jamie was dead, we just didn't know it, and it was Arya wearing his face. I mean, I really liked all of that. Yeah, that's a really good, solid way to end the show, I think.
So much.
Yeah.
Those are good.
I really dig it.
I also wanted to see the Night King in King's Landing really bad.
right?
But no one loves us. So.
If winter's coming, take it to the place that's never goddamn been winter.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, okay. So my main complaints with the last season, I felt like everything going into it was pretty good. Even the last few seasons without the book, I thought that was good TV, you know? But my main complaints were obviously just continuity. I mean, like the Dothraki are extinct.
Continuity?
Is that the word?
Continuity?
Continuity. Thank you.
Congenuity.
Yeah, continuity.
I for a second was like, I think that's a word, but I don't know if it is.
Continuity, you know. Anyways, so like they say the Dothraki are extinct, and then they're all there. And then episode 4, the Unsullied, there's like 20 of them. And then episode 5, there's an army of them. So what was up with that? So just keep it consistent. But then 2, you got to explain the motives more. Because I believe that everything that happened in this season is what should have happened. The Night King was a big bummer because that was like so quick. But the Night King was never in the books. He's never been introduced.
Right. It's
So-
just kind of been an idea.
Yeah.
Or the White Walkers.
Yeah, well, the others, as they call them. And they have an entire, like, realm north, and they ride spiders, and they have, like, a whole castle, and they don't even know what they want. And so, like, you can't really, like, in the show, you can't really get into that, because it hasn't even, like, maybe George R.R. Martin doesn't even know what's up yet. But so, like, the reason I say that, like, everything, except for Euron he should have died a different way. that was such an annoying, greatly awful character that he like deserved a better death than that.
Really? Euron? Out of
Dude.
anybody?
If Euron would have fallen down a flight of stairs
I could have given it. I
and
couldn't
broke his
care
neck,
less.
I would have been fine with that
Yeah,
death.
No,
he
I wish-
shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
I wish
So-
Dany would have just killed him right there.
I would love
when
a
she was
scene
charging down.
where he's trying to put on one of his boots at the top of a staircase and
Yeah.
he's just hopping on one foot and then he slips and falls and dies. And then no one finds him at all. He's just not on screen anymore and we assume he's dead.
Yeah.
They just walk over him thinking it's bricks from Dany from when she destroyed the kingdom.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's
well-
interesting that you.
So I think
that.
I think Dany should have done that because, well, one, she's better explained as a character that's like kind of evil and kind of not so great in the books, but like in the show, they didn't really highlight that.
Yeah.
They should have highlighted it better when she came to Westeros the first time, especially in episode 1 and 2 when everyone's not really having her shit. And she's just like, I'm new here. You know, if she was going to be evil, she should have been like, this is a problem. If you're not okay with me being in charge, then I'm going to have to, you know, like I just saved all these people across the sea. I am a god. You guys deserve better, or I deserve better than what you're giving me. That's what she
Right.
should have been doing because it was always the prophecy that she would burn it down because when she saw the warlocks, I think it was season 2, and they show her in the kingdom, in the castle, it's all covered in snow. So then you cut to the future, it's the same shot, but it's ash instead. And she's the queen of ash. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of like why it was like leading to that point. And also her other prophecy was that she'd be betrayed by blood. And so that was the witch lady who like poisoned Khal Drogo and turned him into a vegetable. Mm-hmm. So she was betrayed by blood magic. She was betrayed by greed, which is when Jorah Mormont was sending secrets to Westeros, and he tried to kill her.
What?
So yeah,
Jorah?
yeah. Jorah was he was a spy. That's why she sent him away.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. And then she was betrayed.
Yeah, duh.
My bad.
Adoy. But then she was betrayed by Love, which was Jon.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But why else would Jon betray her if it wasn't for her burning down a kingdom and killing everyone? There's no other reason in the entire show that would bring him to kill her.
Did they say in the show this prophecy that burned
Yeah.
by? When did they say that?
The warlocks. So
oh,
like,
I don't remember that.
yeah. But
Oh.
if that's the case, well, either one, Jon had to become Azor Ahai, which is the prince that was promised,
Yeah.
which is the person who stabbed their lover through the heart, and then they pulled a sword out, and it's a flaming sword. It's like the Hairbringer or whatever. I don't know. No, the Lightbringer. That's what it's called. And then he defeats the Night King, sending him back because that's the Azor Ahai is supposed to bring peace to the realm, but he just killed her. Nothing happened. Okay, that was weird. But then the other thing that should have happened then is that his prophecy, or he was brought back to life from the King of the Light or the God of Light. He was brought back to life to kill Dany, and then he dies by Grey Worm. Because that's what happened to Beric, Lord Beric, or Sir Beric, who saved Arya when they're in the hallway in
Right.
episode 3. He was brought back like 6 times, and he finally dies when Arya is safe. Because his prophecy, he was brought back, he's now dead. So that's why he...
But why Grey Worm?
Well, just because Jon needs to die, you know? And then that would develop Grey Worm's character, too. Because now he's gotten revenge for his friends, and he can go to Narth, and it's okay.
He would
Or
kill
not.
Jon though.
I would have been on...
Yeah, I could see that a little because he did fucking hate Jon.
Yeah.
He should have killed Jon right then and there. He shouldn't
Yeah.
have kept him prisoner to then later get a census from a bunch of different
Yeah.
people who weren't there.
From his prisoner, Tyrion.
I
Yeah.
think if there's any world though, and Dany being the Mad Queen and Dany's prophecy doing this, the writing had to have been 10 trillion bajillion times better because
I mean,
they
it's
didn't
no small
allude
feat.
to that
Yeah.
as an audience enough at all. They
Yeah.
wrote this amazing character art of this beautiful moral breaker of chains, but figuratively and metaphorically and literally.
Sure.
And they didn't-
Figuratively, metaphorically,
a simile.
a simile, dreamlike.
Continuity.
Continuity.
Haikui.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, you're
if
totally
that was
right.
A ending.
Yeah. No, I agree. They should have done that from the start of the show.
Yeah.
And then 2, the other main thing that they messed up is Bronn and Sansa. because that's what they both wanted the whole time. Sansa always wanted
Bran
to be...
or Bran?
Oh, Bran, my bad.
I've really fucked it up.
Bran should have never been on the council.
Bran should have never been in this fucking season. What was his point?
That also
I'm going to come in and kill you, mate.
me nuts.
Yeah.
If he was fighting, cool. I would have been down with that because Bran's a cool fighter. But
Right.
But
Totally.
so from Bran and Sansa, what I believe, because Bran has green sight, so he can see like the future kind of. He gets like flashes of what's to come. So I assume that he knew, okay, there's me in a crown. I'm the king, you know? Like, I assume he knew that. So what they should have done a better job of explaining is, one, that Bran was doing all these things and, like, building these armies and having all these people kill themselves and spreading secrets so that he could become king in the end. Because he killed millions of people to become the king. And he has the best story because his hands are the most clean. He didn't do anything wrong.
He's the best story, but not the best story in the way that Tyrion was saying it. I think Tyrion meant best story is in like who's overcome the most to become a person that deserves to be king, and that's not not Bran.
That's the thing that he didn't explain well too, is because Bran can see the whole past, or Bran can see everything in the past, and he met the children of the forest, so like the first beings on Earth basically. So like I think that's basically like what he should have done a better job of explaining. Like, hey, this guy knows about the entire world more than anyone. But Sansa is smart, and I believe that she realized what he was doing, and she was like, I just want the North to be mine. I want to be separate. This is my home. And so they were both had their ulterior motives the whole time, and they were just like laying these breadcrumbs so that, because she told Tyrion because she knew that Tyrion would tell Varys, and that Varys would try to betray Dany.
Right.
So it was like, I think that was really brilliant. Oh, excuse me.
My God. Unbelievable.
That was a mouthful. But yeah, I think that they didn't explain that well enough. I think you could put episode 1 and 2 together and use an extra episode to like start to explain that these characters are starting to do some shady stuff. So,
I like this whole Bran theory, or this thing about Bran being this evil villain, because that would have been such a cool twist. Because why else the fuck is he alive? Like, he's so boring. He literally almost had a whole season without him. Like, he has all these powers that we've barely touched on, barely know the significance of. Yeah. And if the only significance of his powers are that he knows the history and therefore should be king, not enough to me to create this magical being. So I love this like evil villain thing that you have on yours. That's awesome.
And they shoot themselves in the foot by going like, you're the one last remaining Stark. You will be the Lord of Winterfell. And he's like, I can't be the Lord of anything. Hey, you want to be king? Yeah, all right.
Oh my God, you're fucking right.
Yeah, I'll be king.
Also, can we goddamn get a feminist moment in this whole fucking show? Everyone can suck my dick. Like,
Sansa's stepping up to be like...
Sansa should have gotten it. Sansa should have had her defining moment.
She should have,
She got her own country now.
Yeah, she should have had more of a feminist moment, not just like a...
Yeah.
And also... Do we like? There's other Dorne. What are the places that there were places before the Seven Kingdoms that were independent besides the North? Yeah, there was Dorne. There was can't remember off the top of my head. There were other places that were independent, and so for Sansa, who now has her brother ruling, I guess shouldn't she kind of bend the knee to her Stark brother? That's like what they've all wanted all along.
Apparently not.
But Sansa gets to go, I think we should be independent, while the other people that have also been independent before just don't get anything. Yeah. That to me was a little like...
Yeah, it's so stupid because then everyone has to be cool with it because that's as far as they thought it through.
That's nepotism right there. Yeah. That's not breaking the wheel, my friend.
Exactly. That's perpetuating the wheel. I mean, Jaime's kids got to be king. Yeah. He's not king. He's supposed to guard the king. Yeah. And everybody fucking knew it.
Right.
That's why I'm saying I wish they just would have explained it more. I don't know. Like, you can't get into the storyline of Dorne because Dorne is like, I mean, the book's so massive. It's like with Harry Potter, you know, like Dorne was its own thing. And apparently they would always try to go in and like create new puppet governments. And then they would revolt and kill everyone. And it was like an ongoing thing. And then the Iron Islands, I mean, they basically don't even care either.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
another good point.
And also, you're so far away that you just have to send a raven and hey, I don't bend the knee.
Yeah.
All right, come at me,
See
bro.
you next year.
on the way.
Guys, just start building a shit ton of weapons. We have a year to defeat.
Yeah, because that's how long it. And it's that was really, but if they would have explained that Bran, God damn it, that Bran is
masterminded it all.
Mastermind. He's pure and terrible evil.
I think he is.
But we don't. You think so, but no one else does
if they
because
threw
of the writing.
Because I've seen.
Well, I've read a lot of blogs that agree with me, but
right. But I've seen.
It took me a week to get to that consensus.
But wouldn't Tyrion, as somebody that's as smart as Tyrion and conniving and has done so much to drive the plot forward, notice this?
No, because Tyrion doesn't notice anything. Tyrion has, oh, I forgot my sister hates me itis.
Yeah, in this season, I mean. I'm saying like overall as a character.
Yeah, but and that's
he
the other
noticed it.
That's the weirdest part about Tyrion is Tyrion's stupid now. And so Tyrion just makes stupid decisions. And my favorite part is he gets shuffled out there as Grey Worm's prisoner.
Yeah.
He goes to talk. Grey Worm says, "Shut your mouth."
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're right. I'll stop talking." And continues to talk unimpeded. And nobody fucking says, "Why are we listening to this prisoner?" Mm-hmm. He is a prisoner. And Grey Worm, you are in total control here.
Yeah.
As far as everyone else is concerned, you run King's Landing. Kill Jon, cut Tyrion's throat, and rule King's Landing.
Yeah.
What are you sitting here listening to everybody for?
Or not even, he doesn't even want to be there. Kill Jon, kill Tyrion, leave.
Get the fuck out of there.
Go to where you were going to go.
Get your revenge that they built up in you from this season.
Yeah. Pick up Miss Sunday's head and just fucking get on a boat and bounce.
Put it on a stick.
Put it on a stick.
It'll be a fun buddy, like a romance.
It'll be like Castaway.
Wilson, Miss Sunday.
If they would have put a scene in there where they like, I'm trying to think how they could do it that's not contrived, but somewhere where, they show Bran and maybe, I mean, this is me just thinking off the top of my head, but they wheel him into his chambers. He's all by himself. And then he goes back in time and then shows us, the audience, the chain of events that led up to him being king.
Oh my gosh,
that would have been dope.
Yeah, I mean, we would have hated it as like a storytelling standpoint because it's like, well, why is Bran doing this?
Yeah.
However, it is an explanation and a twist, and it's something for us to go, oh shit, they gave it some semblance of thought.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. They just went, he's the king, deal with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then sunglasses came from out of nowhere and landed on their head.
Smoke weed every day.
That would have been dope. I mean...
But I agree with you. I wish that would have been the case.
Hey.
I wish they would have explained. Like, there's just so much that could be said for them just explaining things more.
Yeah.
So much. You're right. There is so much cleanup that could have been done in what they've already done.
Yeah.
But with that said, there are smarter ways with the 6 episodes that they could have also done that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm sorry about when I was like, I've read a lot of blogs, Holly. That was really
Oh, God, don't worry about that.
When it came out of my mouth, I was like,
oh, my God, don't.
Yeah, Holly.
Don't worry about
He's
it.
Tommy Blogs. And if you ever come at him like that again, you're off the show.
Tommy, I'm going over here as you're talking going, no, disagree. So
that was the worst thing I've ever said.
Do not worry about it.
That's the worst thing you've ever said?
No, remember that you insulted that beautiful house at that comedy show?
When I burned Steven's mom's house.
Oh, yeah. That was the worst thing you've ever said.
That was so mean.
Because at the time you said that's the worst thing I've ever said.
But I mean, that's the thing so I think that the way that the show was going, and well, if you combine it with the books and the last few seasons, you actually still keep relevant with the books. I think that that's what should have happened, but they should have explained everything way more. Mm-hmm. Like, if Dany's going to burn down a kingdom, you got to have, like, by, like, at least season 7 halfway through, her starting to get a little weird.
Totally.
You know? Her, like, when she attacks and when she burns down the people for not bending the knee, like, she's got to really say it with, like, I don't even care about this. Like, instead of being like, well, they won't burn the knee, I'm sad, like, she's got to be like, I get off to this or something like that.
Or
and then you're like,
I'll masturbate to this later.
I'm into this.
later. Show it now. And then we
right
really would be like, yo, is she masturbating under her jacket?
Is she one of the bad Targaryens? And then the conversation starts happening.
Yeah.
What would have been like
Under her jacket.
Yeah. She just has one of those little holes.
Yeah.
You think it's a pocket, but it's
Like
not.
a popcorn in a movie theater thing where you stick your dick in it.
Oh, nice.
It's a pre.
Danny,
Yeah.
you dog.
It's called the Danny hole.
Ooh.
It was called the John hole for a little bit, but
Oh, hey.
then you found out.
Yeah, what could have been like a good scene to show her kind of going nutso is when the Baratheon bastard stands up and goes to like take a piss or whatever the fuck he was doing.
Oh, right.
While she's sitting there sipping on her Starbucks. She could have been like, "Hey,
Nice.
you're the bastard of the Baratheons, right?"
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah." And instead of giving him a reward, she just kills him.
That would've been
Then we would have been like, everyone would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like,
Right.
He was part of the people that killed my family and took over my throne." And they're like, "Yeah, but he just helped." And she has
Yeah.
no rationale to why she's doing
Right.
it. She's just doing it because
Well, then
he's an enemy.
there's no way in the world she would ever. Then Jamie, why the fuck would Jamie be still alive then? She would have killed Jamie.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
into that, but I'd rather that she throws him in prison instead of
yeah.
killing him. You know, because killing him
Yes.
would be like Arya would get her the next day or something. But like throwing him in prison, then people start going, wait, he's one of the reasons why we won the battle because of all the dragon glass. You
Right.
know? I'm into
Right.
that. If she
Yeah.
would have been like, you did all this, and this, so that's why I'm arresting
And if she
you.
killed Jamie, it would have made more sense of her her kind of descent into madness of being like her father, because she then is exacting revenge for her father.
Right.
So she could have killed Jamie right then and there. And then people would have been like, well, I mean, I kind of get it, but it's still fucked up because we
Yeah.
know Jamie now. Like there would have been that a gray area, and then it just would have got the
I was-
Gendry thing.
And I was really hoping Jamie would kill Cersei.
Everybody was. Everybody and their fucking mother was like, hoping anything but what happened.
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of they're killed by the rocks or killed by the brick, in which their faces are perfectly, beautifully
Yeah.
stayed intact. But then
Stupid.
2 feet next to the bricks is a bunch of open space that they would have survived apparently
yeah.
if they had just stood right there.
Oh,
Dude,
anywhere
so many
Tyrion
good
was
memes.
walking, he walked up to a anthill of
Yeah.
bricks
Yeah.
and took 2-3 off, found his brother and his sister,
Yeah.
and then cried.
Like,
Yeah.
how are they at the top of that brick hill? How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, so that means that the bricks fell on top of them and then slid under them and then
Right.
lifted them up as more bricks started to fall.
Whoa.
Isn't that the laziest shit you've ever
Yeah.
seen?
It's so he should have never been able to find any of them. And then also it should have just been, I can't find them. They must be
He
dead.
could be left wondering and hoping that his brother was a good person at the end.
Yeah, or that they escaped. They
Right, yeah.
He would have no idea because there's no possible way to get under that
It kind of would have
rubble.
been cool if they did escape.
That would have been, yeah.
I would have been okay with that if
Cersei
Cersei
lived?
and
Would've
been okay with
Jamie
that.
escaped and then just didn't, like, it was like they're gonna live in their gross little incest fuck world, but they're not gonna affect anybody anymore.
Or if Euron actually did do the killing blow, Jamie gets Cersei on a boat, Jamie dies.
Jamie
And
would
then
have done.
Cersei's like, I need to change what I'm doing because this ain't working.
That
You know,
would have
like-
that I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would be okay.
And
that
then
she's
everyone
pregnant.
goes, makeover. Change what I'm doing.
She's got
Montage.
big poofy hair. One of those thin cigarettes.
She suddenly has glasses, but then takes them off, like she had glasses all along, but is more beautiful without them.
Oh my gosh. Then I would have been okay with her being pregnant. And then,
Yeah.
then I would have been like, okay, now she'll give a good life to her child.
Yeah.
'Cause where
this is
she
the only thing
was-
she's ever been good at is
Yeah.
loving her children.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Good points. Good
Solid
points. Top of the
points.
morning to you. Good
Top
points.
of the
How you
morning to
doing?
your points.
Kane?
all right. So
Okay, mine's
do you want to do your introduction first, or should we read reviews?
mine's extensive, so I'll try to do. I'll try to condense it as much as I possibly can. But so I made a few minor changes and then one major change that then affects season 8 as a whole. So essentially, the first episode, Arya runs into those Lannister knights, and one of them's Ed Sheeran.
Haha, nice.
That episode. So instead of walking away,
Which
one of them.
That was season 7.
Season 7.
Where they're singing, right?
Episode
They're all
1. Ed
singing?
Sheeran was
Classic.
humming a ballad.
Ooh.
And
Which-
everybody was like, "Is that fucking Ed Sheeran?"
Yeah.
And everyone was so confused.
I gotta ask, did you guys notice Aaron Rodgers?
Are you kidding me?
Season-
And Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, he was in it too?
He's in the Battle of Winterfell episode.
Oh, no way. Yeah, Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers?
was episode 5.
What?
He's running. There's 2 scenes, and I was like, this guy looks so familiar.
What?
And he's sprinting in one of them, and I was like, that's an athlete.
Did
And-
you confirm it online?
Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
It's
it's 2
5.
scenes.
The Bells one?
Yeah, the Bells.
Where he's just running around King's Landing getting burned alive?
One of them, he's a guard, I think. And then the second one, he's running. He's like sprinting, and he gets burned.
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry to cut you
Aaron
off.
Rodgers.
Fun fact, Tommy.
Fun fact, Tommy over here.
Man,
Who would have
I
known?
love Game of Thrones.
Who would have known? He's Blog Tommy.
Blogging.
Or Tommy Blogs.
I've read a few
Blog Tom.
blogs, so
Tom
yeah,
blog.
I confirmed Aaron Rodgers, guys. Come on.
Each blog is the same thing. Aaron Rodgers was in it.
Yeah.
New headline. Yes, that was Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Can't believe my eyes.
So the Lannister, she was going to spare them, like, the scene kind of plays out the same, but then one of them talks shit about Winterfell. So she knifes 2 of them and then sticks Ed Sheeran in the side.
Oh.
And then tells him, like, if you survive and make it to King's Landing, tell Cersei I'm coming for her. So you just change that up completely. So where we're all like, dude, was that Ed Sheeran too? Oh, fuck, she just stabbed and possibly murdered Ed
And
Sheeran.
his legs don't work like they used to.
They certainly don't. And so then...
What?
It's a song.
Oh my god.
Come on, Holly.
Oh, work like they
okay,
used to
I have
before.
2 like
You're right.
pretty manly men going, "Come on, Ed, non-Ed Sheeran fan."
I've seen him live. He is a heartbreaker. Oh my
certainly
god.
is.
You're right, guys. I'm going through gender stereotypes, and I'm wrong.
Yeah, come on.
So
Jesus.
we get to the episode. I think it's called "Spoils of War" when they Jaime and Bran
Yay!
and the Tarly army and the Lannister
yeah.
army are being attacked by the Dothraki
Yeah.
and Drogon. So I changed things up. So remember that Bran is being chased by a Dothraki that he later shoots with the scorpion spike. So instead of just 1, he's being chased by 2.
Oh.
And then he spikes 1. The other one is in a battle with some Lannisters, and the same thing. It plays out basically the same, except when he fires the spike and hits Drogon, he falls, lands. Daenerys has to try and take the spike out of Drogon. Jaime sees everybody's burning and charges at him. Episode plays out pretty much the same, except this time we see from Bronn's perspective. And Bronn sees that his meal ticket, Jaime, the one that's going to give him a castle, is about to commit suicide.
Right.
And he can't have that. So he takes off, and the Dothraki, the second one that was chasing him, finds Bronn, chases after him, sees that Bronn is also charging at his queen, so leaps from his horse, jumps on top, cuts Bronn's head off.
Whoa.
Bye, Bron.
Kicks his horse. The horse then is now unmanned, runs into Jaime right before. And so Jaime's knocked into the water, but this time it's not Bronn that was also saved himself and Jaime. Bronn's dead.
Love it.
Jaime's in the water. And then the season pretty much goes forward the same, except I kept thinking about what would the Night King have done if how would he have gotten over the wall without a dragon? And then it starts to like, Tommy.
Sorry. Well, in season 2, no, or it could have been 1, but they find this horn. And so he was actually supposed to bring the wall down with a horn. That was like, that's what it was
What does
supposed
a
to
horn
destroy
do?
them. I don't remember
Like
enough.
he like just chips away at the wall, or
Yeah, he just
what's
like-
going on here? Yeah. Or he blows the horn and it trembles the wall down.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
It,
that's
like-
fucking magic. I'll believe it.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a magic wall, blows it down or some shit.
I read about that. I read
Yeah.
about that.
Did
'cause
you
I-
really?
Yeah, because I was trying. I couldn't. I can't remember the name of it, but I didn't know enough about it, so I didn't use it.
But
And
it
I-
was in the show.
And I realized that the reason Jon and that whole band of merry men go out to the north to capture a White Walker to bring back to Cersei is completely contrived just so Daenerys flies in, and then he picks off a dragon, reanimates it, and now he can use it to burn the wall down, and that's his way through.
Yeah.
So that all hit me, and then I thought, okay, well, how would he do it if they just decided that plan is incredibly stupid? Let's not do that because we'll die. We'll for sure die. There's no way we will survive that because they shouldn't have survived it. So then I thought, how would he do it? So you spend one of the episodes in season 7 is just about the Night King, what he was like as a man and how he became the Night King. Well, he was a man. He had a family. Men betrayed him. So instead of like him being wrapped up and the children of the forest
stabbing him,
just like stabbing a random dude,
right?
He wanted to do it. At the last second, didn't want to do it. So then they had to strap him up because he wasn't sure it would work. Turns into the Night King. So then at that same time, he's like combing the far north for as many people that he can turn into his army until he has this is like the second to last episode, and the vast army shows up at the wall, and those chains he used to pick up the dragon out of the ice, he now uses that. He uses the 3 giants that he has to throw spikes with chains connected to them at the top of the wall, and then like World War Z.
Yeah, let's have more of a meaning for the giants.
Yeah, they start climbing up, and then since we saw at the Battle of Castle Black that the giants can just pick that fucking door up,
Right.
just have one of the undead giants pick that door up, and then usher a bunch of dead through,
Yeah.
and then they don't have to burn the wall down, they just take the castle over. So the Hound and the one-eyed guy,
it's kind of symbolizing that the wall
Bearger?
doesn't do much after all.
Well,
yeah, the wall's pretty much pointless.
because there's magic in the wall. So.
Right. So I read about the magic in the wall.
Right.
That there is magic.
Yeah. Okay.
And I read this. I read this theory that the reason that the Night King burned Bran. God, I hate it so
damn
much.
it.
It's so annoying.
I was like, why don't you burn Bran?
And marked him.
Yeah.
Was because and Bran didn't know this until he got across the wall. So Bran is like going back in time, and he's doing the white eye thing.
Warging.
And that's how we're seeing the events unfold, as Bran's trying to learn more about the Night King, so we learn more about the Night King. And then it hits him that his arm starts to burn, that all of a sudden that when he crossed in episode 1, when he crossed through the wall, that mark then depletes the magic
That's cool.
of the wall, and now the Night King can get over.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
That's
that
a
kind of
great
all
idea.
comes together, right?
Because that's how he originally found the 3-eyed raven, too. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they get over the wall without having to actually tear it down. Most of the people die. The Hound and the one-eyed guy who were chilling there, I think they were chilling there at the time when they were supposed to go hunt for White
Torment?
Walkers. Yeah. They fuck off to Winterfell because there's no winning this war. So they're like, let's get ahead of them. So then the season finale wraps up pretty much the same. It's just like Sam finds, when Sam cures Jorah of his grayscale, he gets infected with it.
Yeah.
So Jorah's cured and can go back, but Sam's now infected.
What a sad scene that would have been.
Which now gives him reason to, and then he also finds out about Jon being a Targaryen. So he goes to Winterfell. It's his last dying thing that he has to do is tell Jon that he's the rightful king. Tyrion tells Jaime to reason with Cersei because Cersei's not going to reason with Tyrion. So Jaime tries. Cersei sees Jaime as less of a man and fucks Euron.
In front of him.
Has Jaime catch them. And then Jaime realizes that he's been betrayed again and this is his last straw. He can't take it anymore. And he tells her he's leaving. And there's like this intense scene where he has to escape from King's Landing because she's put a hit on Jaime.
Ooh, that would have been so cool having a whole King's Landing turn against him.
Right. So now he has to bounce and get out as snow is falling on King's Landing. And why show snow falling on Jaime's hand if it's just going to be sunny for the entire rest of that season? What is the point of that?
Winter is coming? When?
Yeah. So in all of my season 8, It's snowing in King's Landing.
Yeah,
that's
good.
just
Should be.
them's the bricks.
Yeah.
David Benioff, even though you don't have to work on the show anymore.
Yeah. Enjoy Star Wars.
I'm not.
John returns. Daenerys doesn't believe in John's plan about the White Walkers. She doesn't believe in it. So John.
Wait, why? What?
It's unimportant to her. She wants the throne.
She doesn't believe in the plan to what? Sorry. What
to defeat the Night King. She doesn't think it's the real threat.
Oh.
So since she doesn't think it's the real threat, she tells him, "Look, you can have the dragon glass because Tyrion says you're a good guy, but you have to bend the knee." And he says no. And she goes, "All right, well, after I take King's Landing, I'm coming for Winterfell."
You're gonna get it, buddy.
So they're enemies. They're not lovers.
Whoa.
I completely cut that off right at the start.
Yeah.
So he goes back to. A raven was sent during the fucking wall crawl. So when
wall crawl when you get drunk and you go, you hit every wall in the Seven Kingdoms.
You call here, you call there.
So then when John gets back with all the dragon glass, the raven gets to Winterfell and they're like, they're coming. They're over the wall. Mm-hmm. And he thinks to himself, well, we can't stay here. There's not enough time to prepare Winterfell. So we need to leave. So he takes all of Winterfell and they head south.
Oh.
The safest place that he can think of is still one of the most dangerous places because he can't walk up and ask for sanctuary because Cersei's and then also Dany and all that shit. So that's how the season. Oh, and then Sam tells Jon he's the rightful heir.
Cool.
So that's how season 7 ends. Is Winterfell is completely. So there is no Battle of Winterfell in the 8.
Yeah. Then no Dany, Jon love triangle to make. Yeah.
Whoa.
So then it basically opens with Jon marching his people south, and then Gendry's in a wagon, like trying the best to make dragonglass weapons, and they keep marching. And Dany, see, you write it all out, and then you try to condense it.
Yeah.
So she.
I hope he wrote actual quotes too, like, "I don't want it." And then Danny's like, "You must bend the knee." And then,
I don't want to bend the knee.
I don't want to bend the knee. And then Sansa says, "Well, you ain't gonna be bending anything because the Night King's here."
Right.
And that's what he wrote in the book.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
So it's pretty spot on. Jorah makes it to the island. Tells. That's a part I forgot. While Sam was curing him of his grayscale, was talking about what he found in the books and that Jon is the rightful Targaryen and blah, blah, blah. So when Jorah is cured and goes back, he's the one that tells Dany that he's a Targaryen. Dany believes that Jon knew the whole time, which is why he wouldn't bend the knee. So she takes all 3 dragons.
I love that. That's more motive.
Yeah.
That's more motive, Tommy.
Yeah, pretty good.
Takes off to Winterfell with all 3 of her dragons. She doesn't need to bring her armies because she's just going to corner Jon with 3 of her dragons. She's, of course, riding Drogon. At the exact same time, the Night King shows up at Winterfell to see that. But
is that the smartest move? If she knows that he's Targaryen, then the dragons would be.
Well, that's the question.
But
with the show.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's the question with the show. Is that is Jon immune to fire? Because in season 1, when he grabbed the lantern and threw it at the first White Walker that he killed, his hand burned. And his hand was burnt. So that's a question is he? I don't think he is.
Because he's half.
Yeah.
So he might not be? Okay.
So she brings them to say that I'll burn Winterfell if you don't come with me. But so the Night King is walking around Winterfell realizing there's nobody here. And that's when Dany shows up with all 3 of her dragons. She thinks it's the people of Winterfell from far away, but when she lands, realizing, oh shit, Jon was right, these things are real, that's when he javelins Drogon in the throat.
Ooh, Night King?
Night King. Drogon gets killed, bucks her off, and she falls over the wall outside the castle onto the snow as a bunch of White Walkers are coming at her. So that's when one of her other... I can't remember the names of those dragons.
Rhaegar. No.
Rhaegar, let's say.
Rhaegal.
Let's say Rhaegal.
And then Viserion, yeah.
So Rhaegal steps up, burns the White Walkers. She scrambles to get on top, and then they fuck off as they're continuing to throw spikes and missing.
Where's Jon?
Jon is still marching.
Okay, gotcha.
Jon is marching his people.
Gotcha.
Jaime's coming to Winterfell. Dany just lost her favorite dragon, and then the Night King reanimates Drogon, and now it's Drogon that's the zombie dragon.
Whoa.
And then he signals his army to start marching in, but they just take off in a full sprint into the woods. So then you get to oh my God, there's just so much.
You're
we might
doing
have to
great.
do like a separate episode so this one doesn't go on so long. But there gets to I want to like try and hit everything I can with like the meanings that you guys all said, but essentially the same kind of idea that everyone's death when they were brought back has some sort of meaning. Dany flies back, tells everybody what happened. They have to weigh out between what would be the better plan here. Go out and get the Night King, an enemy we don't know that well, just for revenge, or do we continue on with our plan? We intercut that with Euron and Cersei fucking like rabbits.
Nice.
And
Hubba hubba.
Euron talking shit about Jaime, and Cersei says, you keep talking shit about my brother, then I'll execute you. And he says, well, if I brought you the head of one of her dragons, could we like speed up this marriage process?
Nice.
And she says, sure. So then he takes his fleet and starts heading towards Dany. So Dany then decides, let's just go to King's Landing.
Why?
I'm gonna take.
She's now seen the White Walkers for herself and seen how powerful they are.
Right.
And what they can do with reanimation of the dead.
Right.
So why does she decide to go for the Iron Throne?
Because they have a battle plan that they're certain of, that they know of. So let's go and take King's Landing, and then we can better protect ourselves there. If we can
Gotcha.
fortify that situation.
Gotcha.
Imagine those scorpions with dragon glass.
Yeah.
Whoa, super cool CGI.
So
Scorpions?
The giant crossbow things.
Oh,
that they kill the
yeah.
dragon with.
You're right.
That'd be really cool.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And since the dead are marching this way, they come up with the battle plan. Let's then attack the castle, King's Landing, from the opposite side. So we're only opening up a hole that we can later rebuild. Like everything has to make sense. Plus Tyrion knows this side better. There's hidden things that he can get the Unsullied into. And they're like, all right, they take off in the sea. Dany boards a boat. The other two dragons follow, and they leave that fucking Dragon Island. And they head for King's Landing because there's no fucking reason to post up there as long as they did. It's so silly.
Yeah.
So Jon meets up with Jaime on Jaime's way back to Winterfell. They explain the situation. Jaime goes, all right, I'll fight for the Starks. You guys are my only friends. And they start to take off. And then all of a sudden, Bran feels the heat on his arm again. He uses his mind control, which I forgot he even had.
Ward?
Yeah, he uses that to stop the wagon he's in. Then he uses it again to make a soldier pick him up, put him in his wheelchair.
Oh.
Then I'm taking this. I watched a YouTube video from the channel Hello Future Me. So I'm taking this little portion that he had in his rewrite video. I'm using it in my version.
Shoot, I don't know whose video I used about the going to the tree thing. That was somebody else's too. I don't know their name, but you
it's all right.
cool.
You cool. Credit where credit is due. So he then gets put in his wheelchair and he gets wheeled off away from the rest of the people. So in this dude's in Hello Future Me's YouTube channel, he talks about how he would have rewritten the Battle of Winterfell. So in this, in his version, Bran goes back in time to when the Mad King was king.
Okay.
Goes into his mind and tries to tell him, hey, some shit's gonna happen.
Turns him mad.
Turns him mad. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, Tommy. So when
What a
he's
lot of people
Right.
think.
when he's saying that,
It's what he did to Hodor.
yeah, what he did to Hodor, making Hodor all of a sudden just say Hodor.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I get that, which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
But wait, why would he turn the Mad King mad?
To say like we need you to be ready. I'm gonna try and change things up. So
Well-
when they get to
So like a lot of people believe that like just how when Bran went back and said Hodor to Hodor and then he went crazy, people think that Bran also went and spoke with the Mad King and made him crazy.
So it's just the concept of like that kind of magic making someone go crazy.
Well, going back in time and talking to them.
And then
Because they don't know how to like.
But I thought are you saying that Bran would tell him to go crazy?
No. He's going
Bran
back
would
in time.
think he's strong enough to control him and to be like, hey, we can do this. But he's not strong enough.
Yeah, we need your. What's the green fire?
Wildfire.
Wildfire. We need the wildfire that you have to defeat the White Walkers because we need to burn them all. And then the Mad Kings just start snapping and just start saying, burn them all, burn them all.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing.
Whoa.
But that's in his video. That's not in mine. I'm not going to take that one because it's way too fucking good.
That's cool.
So the one I snatch is he then goes, okay, let me try again. He goes back to, and so in my version, he's out in the woods. He then releases the guard, the soldier, from his mind control and says, go back and tell Jon that they're almost here. So that guy fucks off, runs as fast as he can back to Jon, and then he goes back in time to when the Night King was about to be made Night King, enters his mind, and then gets the mouth muzzle out of his mouth and starts pleading with the children, please don't do this. Don't do this. But they don't listen, and they turn him Night King, trapping Bran in the Night King mind. And he's the Night King the whole time.
Funny. I've heard that
my mind is blown.
Which is really fucking amazing, right?
Wait, he's the Night King the whole time. Okay, we're fucking with time. We're fucking with time now, so my brain can't handle it.
Right.
So he's the Night King the whole time.
The whole time.
Well, then who's Bran?
Bran is Bran. Bran's the three-eyed raven.
So he's Bran and the Night King.
Yeah.
You know how I know this. I know I'm sounding dumb. Time travel has always fucked my brain.
Sure.
So while he's Bran, oh God, how do I explain this? While he's Bran, he's also the Night King, and those things can happen simultaneously.
So imagine the timelines are the same.
Yes.
The Night King can't become the Night King until Bran runs. So it's essentially Terminator logic.
Yeah.
The time travel of Terminator logic is that Skynet was built. They built Terminators. John Connor came to be. John Connor became such a brilliant tactician that Skynet was almost done. So they sent a Terminator back in time to kill John when he was a baby, or kill John's mother. So they send back Kyle Reese, who's younger than John. Then him and Sarah fall in love, make John.
Nice.
So without sending Kyle back in time, there is no John.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So and then they get into a final battle. Sarah crushes his arm, the Terminator's arm, and it's the CPU, the damaged CPU in the Terminator, and the arm is what built Skynet. So you can't build Skynet unless they send a Terminator back in time.
Gotcha. Okay, so if Bran is the Night King, why he be like that?
That one's a little more difficult to like explain if you're trying to think. All the events have to take place where essentially Bran has been running away from himself.
Okay.
So Bran is following Bran. And
gotcha.
So Bran tries. So when
Wheelchair Bran's running away from Night King Bran.
Yeah.
But why is Night King Bran trying to get to Wheelchair Bran?
Because Wheelchair Bran needs to go.
Why? So that he can fully ascend to being Night King?
So if he kills Bran, then he can get the powers of the three-eyed raven. Because he doesn't have three-eyed raven. He's just Bran stuck in the Night King's head. But now he can kill Bran and be the three-eyed raven.
But then does the Night King with Bran stuck in his head not is there no part of him that doesn't want to kill everybody?
Oh yeah, there's that part still exists.
But no, I'm saying why does he want to kill everybody if he's got Bran in his brain?
Who? Now you're raising a bunch of questions I did not think of.
And here's my thing too.
I
hate to burst your bubble.
Don't. That's what it's about, dog.
Other than Hodor, there's no like evidence that Bran can warg into people. And the only reason he can warg into Hodor is because, I think that it's because like it's Hodor, you know, like
sure.
So, but there's.
Wait, what do you mean? You know.
You know what I mean?
I need more explanation.
Do you know what I mean?
But do you know what I mean?
It's because Bran and him are best buds. That's why. No. But Hodor is the only person that he can warg into.
But why though?
Yeah.
And I can't answer any questions about magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking it at face value that
That's
the
true.
reason
From the show.
from
That's
the
good,
show, his motivation is the original Night King's motivation, and it's never really changed. I want to kill humanity. It's got to go. But then Bran warps in there, and he's stuck in there. It's that kind of combination of he's Bran, but
half.
Bran is already an unfeeling, sort of emotionalist.
I know, which is another reason why would anybody go, who should be king? The guy who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he don't care.
Should be king.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not that I'm not on board.
Right.
It's more of if Bran is in there, then I feel like there would have been more of a battle between killing certain people, like a battle of the minds inside the trapped brain.
Sure.
Of when it comes to killing everybody at Winterfell and whatnot, like there'd be more hesitation.
Okay.
Because then it's like Bran's presence in the brain means nothing. I don't get why he would kill all the people he killed if Bran is trapped in there.
But I'm coming at this from he's two people. He's
Yeah, exactly,
The Night King,
but then we
and he's
have to
also
see the
Bran.
two people.
But I think the three-eyed raven version of himself, that unfeeling emotionalist part, is the one that shines through the most.
Oh, maybe. And then maybe the greed of Bran, who wants to walk. And so as the Night King, he's all powerful. Mm-hmm. But as Bran, he's weak.
Oh, shit.
So as the Night King, all he does is kill everyone, and he's all powerful.
Right.
So that's why he's okay with it.
Right.
Or what if Bran wargs into the Night King? Sorry. Bran wargs into the Night King. Then the same thing happens. He gets stabbed from the Children of the Forest. But Bran is then trapped in the Night King. And then the Night King knows, oh, I have this guy. I need this. I want more power. Now he can access Bran's brain and sees the power that Bran has. But he can't use that power until the real Bran is dead.
There you go.
Did I just do it?
I think you just unlocked it.
Do that?
So Bran has no control
Oh, so
over the
it's like-
pitten body, but now instead of having like the tracker on his arm, that's the tracker. That's why the Night King and Bran have such a link, is because Bran is technically warged in the brain, didn't have the power to get out of the brain in time.
Dude, that's like Jet Li in the movie One.
That's exactly what I was going
like
for.
Jet Li
That's
in the
what I
movie
was
The
going
One.
for. I've seen
That's
that movie.
pretty dope.
I haven't seen that movie.
One is dope.
I haven't.
It's
I haven't
so
seen
good.
that movie.
I used to watch that movie on repeat.
Cool. I love this. Keep going, Kane.
Okay, so the Night King shows up, kills Bran in his chair, and then instead of his eyes going white, his eyes go black. And he is then taken to the time when Jon Snow came back to life.
The White King? The Night King?
The Night King.
Love
so
it.
he sees when Jon Snow comes back to life and then comes back out of it, and you can see some things working in his head. And we cut back to the soldier telling Jon that they're coming. Next thing we know, zombie Drogon, is spitting hot blue flames, but not at anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He's encasing them in a circle of fire that they can't get out of. And then just out of the flames comes the army of the dead attacking the entire... And you have... I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, but you have Jaime, Brienne, Samwell, you have Tormund.
Why is Jaime back there? I thought
he
I thought he went to
King's
Cersei.
Landing.
Okay.
She kicked him out.
Yeah, she kicked him out.
The Hound.
The Hound,
Arya.
Sansa,
God of Light
Sansa.
guy.
John, and
Gendry.
Gendry,
Is Melisandre anywhere?
Melisandre. No, Melisandre. I did not write Melisandre in my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with her.
Yeah, there's certain people I don't know what to do with. Also, like, what's her name? God damn it, I'm forgetting her name. Oberon's wife that was trapped in a jail cell by Cersei never got brought up again.
Oh, yeah.
That was a waste. She was a cool girl.
Yeah.
She was a cool character. She could have come up and like when this is such a tangent real fast. She could have come up during the Bells episode and been released from the jail cell somehow because everything's fucking on fire. Come up and
Yeah.
like stab Cersei or some bullshit.
I think that she was starved. I don't think that Cersei was feeding her. That's just what
I know, but it could have
Yeah.
been a twist where it's like, here's a character y'all forgot about.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Remember
her.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Jon, Sam, Arya, Jaime, the Hound, the one-eyed guy, Lady Brienne, Podrick are all fighting, and Podrick's picked off early.
Oh, Podrick, no.
Podrick's just dead.
Yeah.
Brienne and Jaime fight side by
But
side.
he does a good job doing so.
But he had to become a knight.
The Hound tells Sansa to get on a horse and follow him on a wagon. So the Hound rides a wagon into the blue flame, which then engulfs him in it, but gives Sansa a horse, gives Sansa's horse a ramp to jump onto and off of away from the blue flame. Sansa rides for her life. Arya fights, but is backed up against a tree. The one-eyed guy swoops her up, runs and throws her over one of the flame barriers. He screams at her to run and then is mauled by a bunch of White Walkers, and he's killed. Sort of the same way he does in episode 3. But when Arya lands on the other side, she looks around and she sees something that she recognizes. It cuts back to Jon is fighting with everything he has. Then he goes up against the Night King, and it's the first time Jon's ever fought the Night King, and he's exhausted.
Why didn't they ever have that fight?
I don't know.
I know. They literally gave us a little sample in that one episode where they fought, and then.
No, he fought one of the generals.
Well, I'm saying there was a tease of like, are they going to fight here?
I know.
And then they never did. They never did.
Yeah.
Why was Jon brought back to life?
Yeah.
So Jon is fighting. He's overwhelmed. The Night King goes for the killing blow, but Sam smashes into him and takes the blow for him. Samwell.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah, he's in the fray, but he's the one that saves Jon's life.
But I thought he was grayscale.
He is grayscale.
So he has
then
nothing
Jon
to
has
lose.
Yeah, he has nothing to lose. There's a reason. He's like, I'm dying anyway, and I can't operate on myself, and I don't trust anybody else to not get infected.
Yeah.
So it would be just it would be needless for that. So he uses his last breath to save Jon.
Good.
He knocks Jon down into like this pit and then smashes him unconscious. So then they fight. Then a bunch of the Stark soldiers surround the Night King and they try to fight. He takes them out with no problem. But then we cut back to Brienne and Jaime, and they're fighting. And then they see that the ramp that the Hound has used as like a diving board is still being engulfed in flames. But if they get to it, they can leap over it and just fucking book it. Mm-hmm. But then a spear goes through Jaime's spine from his back out through his stomach. He collapses over. His last words are Lady Brienne, and then he dies. And then Lady Brienne goes to like grab him and drag him, then turns around and the wagon's engulfed in flames. Now she has no way out.
Whoa.
We cut back to the Night King. He jumps into the pit where Jon was supposed to be, but his body is gone. So he can't figure out what's going on. Then he sees drag marks in the snow. Ghost has taken Jon by his coat and is dragging him towards the wall of flames. And he starts to like kick snow and dirt into Jon's face. Jon wakes up, sees where he is, realizes he doesn't have his sword. He can't fight without it. He needs to get out of here. So he takes his jacket off, wraps Ghost in it, leaps through the flames with Ghost, and then Ghost like kicks they're on the other side. Jon's entire body is on fire, and Ghost like gets the jacket off of him. But then
they could have, if they wanted to, make Jon immune to fire there.
Which is what I did.
Oh, sorry.
Because Jon then feels like he's not actually in any pain. So he stands up, and Arya notices Arya looking at him on the other side. There's like flames on the top of his head and on his shoulders, and he's unaffected by it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then stepping out behind Arya is Nymeria and her pack.
Nice.
Love it.
And so then they all take off, and then the Night King, he sees, all right, nobody's here. This is where the drag marks end, by this big blue flame wall. Let me walk through. Can't find him. So then he walks back, and then that episode would end with him raising everybody up, and Jaime and Brienne are now part of the Night King's army.
That's
Whoa.
cool. I just want Brienne to save Podrick. I thought that would be a cool.
Podrick's dead.
Oh man.
Podrick's dead. Brienne's dead. Jaime's dead.
They're all dead.
The Hound melted, so he can't fight his dead brother.
What?
Oh, are you done with your book?
No. So it's,
okay.
I couldn't finish the rest of the writing, but I did think it all the rest of it out. So
Wait, I really gotta go pee.
go pee.
Okay.
We'll
Go pee.
do a pause.
Oh, okay.
Or no, I guess we can keep going unless.
Yeah, just keep going.
All right. So essentially, the following episode would be Dany heading towards King's Landing, and she has a leg up on Winterfell, but then Euron's forces show up, and then they're meeting at a midway point.
Are they in water?
They're all in water. Dany's not on one of her dragons. She's stuck in a ship. Or no, excuse me. She's on one of her dragons.
Okay.
She's flying one of her dragons. And they're floating. And they can see the ships. No ships just randomly sneak up on them and start firing randomly.
When they did the after the episode thing, and literally their explanation was, so Dany just kind of forgot.
She just kind of forgot. So Dany kind of forgot about Euron's forces, but they haven't forgotten about her. Why would she forget about any aspect?
That's such a way of them going, we kind of forgot. Oh no,
Whoopsie doodle. So she's on, and now that she's been attacked twice by spears, people shooting at her, she has to be smarter. She can't lose another dragon. So she then divides. She's riding one. The other one goes on either side of Euron's forces, and she sees what kind of turn radius these scorpions have. But they can't turn, so they start to follow her, firing at her, and she's keeping a safe distance away. Then she can see that they can only turn so far.
Yeah, duh.
But if she gets behind them, they're fucked.
Yeah.
So you think that the battle's going to start, because so far we've seen since season 7, Euron, when he's in the water, he is none to be fucked with. But since Dany has pretty much lost up to this point with the battle for Cersei, she has to be smarter. She can't just keep losing. She has to fucking be better than that. So she gets behind Euron, and Euron goes, didn't see that coming, and he fucking abandons ship, and she just decimates the Iron Fleet. They capture Euron, and they're like, you're coming with us, but we're gonna, send a raven to the Iron Bay, whatever the fuck that's called.
The something the
Iron Isles.
Iron Isles, where he can stand trial. Like, we're not gonna kill you. You have to.
Okay.
You have to answer for all your crimes. But since that battle was sort of a hiccup in their plans, it's now given the White Walkers a chance to catch up in their race to King's Landing. So in the final episode, we see Arya, Jon walking towards, with a fair amount of distance behind. He finds his sword in the pit somewhere, keeping their distance from the Night King. And Arya and their 2 dire wolves and that pack of wolves that follow Nymeria all walked to King's Landing.
Is that all that survived?
That's all that survived.
Of everybody from Winterfell?
Yeah, Sansa's in the wind because she was able to get out.
Right.
But we don't know where Sansa is.
But all the townspeople and stuff, everyone's
part of the Night King's army.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So Dany finally gets there, and I was like, if you're gonna put scorpions up to protect your castle, they have to mean something. You can't just randomly have you can't have the dragon come in and then fucking decimate them.
Yeah.
When that was a big component, was you're like, she can't get past, these things will take out her dragons.
Yeah.
So she sends in a little the same kind of way they did with the Lannister Island. They send in a small little army to go infiltrate, take out those archers that are manned up against the scorpions,
Right.
and then send out a red flare. Okay, come on in. That's when she dive bombs in, so she's safe to take out this block, takes down the building, and now a fight ensues. But it looks like she's won, sort of the same way in the Bells episode, where she's perched up, and it's like, listen, Cersei, I've won. This is over. And then the Night King shows up with Drogon. And the same shit you were talking about, I'm going to steal from you, Holly.
Okay.
Oh, thief.
Because I didn't get to finish mine, so I'm just going to take bits of Holly.
Bandit.
He comes in and he just starts wrecking shop. And so Drogon is now, he's the one burning everything,
Down
everybody.
King's Landing, yeah.
Whoa.
King's Landing is being decimated. So she has to join the fight to save the people, not kill and destroy the people.
Totally.
So she goes up and she now has to try and fight her favorite son, the zombie Drogon. Which I think would be a more impactful fight than one of her other two bitch children that she could give a fuck about.
Yeah.
One of the other ones.
And so, Tommy, are we keeping you up, honey?
I know.
He kept going through his yawn, but it's like this is a sound medium. We heard the yawn.
Is that what our audience is telling us?
No, it's past my bedtime. My bad.
Oh, honey. So, during the ensuing chaos, Arya, she was able to be smuggled out in season 2, knows a way in.
Oh, she sneaks back.
So her, Jon, and the direwolves sneak in
through Flea's bottom.
I gotta have to get to, because I would love to think of the buildup that led to this, but essentially the Night King shows up. He's got zombie Jaime in tow with a piece of dragon glass, and a bunch of his zombies come in. They take out the Lannister army. They get rid of the fucking mountain. He's useless.
What?
He's done.
You're not gonna let the Hound in the mountain have? Oh, Hound's dead.
Hound's melted.
Yeah.
Hound was melted. So the Hound can't fight his brother. So
would the Hound have jumped through that fire flame though? He's scared of fire.
He would have done it for Arya.
he did it for Sansa.
He would have done it for Arya.
Yeah, I think he would have done it for Arya.
You would have done it for Arya?
Yeah.
Well, it's my story. No. Yeah, all right. So
carry on, sir.
So they reach that. He then commands Jaime to be close to Cersei. Okay. So Jaime is now in fear for her life, really for the first time ever.
Jaime?
Or Cersei?
Cersei. Cersei is in fear for her life for really the first time in a long time, and it's now a zombie version of her brother lover that is holding this little piece of dragon glass.
I'm a brother lover. We should love each other.
The Night King goes up,
Love each other's brothers.
touches Cersei's cheek, and her eyes glint blue, but then it fades away.
Whoa.
And then he goes back, and Jon and Arya come in.
Man, you got these shots planned out.
I know.
Jon and Arya come in. There's a fight that ensues. Jon with a little more urgency.
A little bit more gusto this time, Jon.
We know what Jon wants.
Ain't no love holding him back, baby.
Get to it.
There's nothing holding me back.
So
nice.
Jon and the Night King fight. Arya and tries to, with her dragon glass blade, or the dagger that she gets.
Right.
She's taking out the other zombies, just doing her best. And then the dire wolves are also in the fray. So there's a lot going down. Jon is having a fucking gang of a time on the Night King. Like it's pretty much blow for blow. It's like Rumble in the Jungle, but then Jon gets the upper hand. He wounds him.
I thought you said Jungle to Jungle at first with Tim Allen.
Sure.
It's like Jungle to Jungle.
It's like Jungle to Jungle,
baby.
which was a remake of an Italian movie.
Was it really?
Oh, it was.
I think either way, it was probably a little racist.
It was racist.
Yeah.
Super racist.
Nice.
Tim Allen's racist.
Anyway, here we are.
Yeah.
That's part of the show.
Makes sense.
But if he needs an opener, you can find me at KingHollowayComedy.com. So anyway, so the Night King feeling like the prophecy he saw that Jon coming back, Jon is his undoing. Then at the moment Jon is about to stick him, he signals to Jaime. Jaime, at the exact same time, Jon is sticking the Night King. Jaime sticks Cersei. The Night King explodes. Whoa. They think it's over. They look out the window. The dead are still running wrecking shop. They look over. Cersei is the new Night
Wait, how?
Queen.
Why?
He transferred over his powers, the dragon glass, the same kind of thing.
Oh, like the way the Children of the Forest created it.
And gave it to Cersei. And then Cersei then commands Jaime to go after him, and there's this big battle that ensues.
Whoa.
They're like even more empowered. They use their spikes to take down her last remaining dragons.
Whoa.
Dany's killed. Jon is killed.
Bye-bye.
Arya takes off, and then as the Night Queen, Cersei sits on the Iron Throne. Game over.
What?
And that's it. That's how it ends. The bad guys win, baby.
No, I don't like it.
I like it. I like it more 10,000 times more than what we saw.
I like everything
The price
except for
is
the
right.
dead winning.
The dead won, baby.
Why not though? It's
Why
why
not?
wouldn't they win? If the White Walkers are a symbol of and the Night King symbol of global warming, we're fucked. We have not done enough to prevent this. Global warming's gonna win. We just gotta enjoy our remaining years.
Yeah, we got 12 years,
And
according to Leonardo DiCaprio and Lil Dicky.
Oh, really?
whom I trust.
I trust them.
Lil
with-
Dicky
12 years to
implicitly.
live?
Yeah.
Or?
12 years before global warming is like, what is it?
It essentially takes over. And greenhouse gases
And we're all
and
gonna
pollution
die.
and everything sort of takes our life. And I think California's going first, so we all might want to think of a new
Fuck.
place to live.
Oh, that's not
I
good.
think I'm just going to do all the cocaine I can.
we should
I'm
buy a
gonna go
house.
to Alaska.
Let's put all our money together.
The three of us plus your
12
wife.
Yes.
Ooh.
And Brad
Brad
of
and
course,
Kelsey.
and Kelsey.
Brad.
We can live, and we'll call it the Fuckboy House.
Wait a minute. And a fuck boy and fuck girl?
Yes,
girl.
a fuckboy
Come on,
and fuck
King.
girl house. Feminism
Whoa.
is alive and well, but it won't matter. Neither feminism nor meninism
Meminism.
will make
It's called
any
mansplaining.
different.
I would know.
Well, you are Bloggy Tomer.
Yeah.
Bloggy Tom.
Bloggy Tom are in the house. Hang out with my
You
doggers.
did not try to do that at all. It just came out.
That was pretty cool. I like that nickname.
Bloggy
This is how
Tomer.
nicknames are created.
Hey, I'm Bloggy Tomer. Nice to
Bloggy
meet you.
Tomer.
Ugh,
Bloggy
what's wrong with this
Tomer
guy?
and Abortion Holly
Oh.
sitting in a
it.
fuckboy fuck girl house.
People
playing
just listen.
solitaire.
You're like, what the fuck are wrong with these people?
Well, what do you guys think out there in the listening land of
Yeah,
podcasts?
tell us what you think of all of our changes, all of our edits, all of our endings, or what you thought about the last season in general, last two seasons.
Yeah.
And if you liked it, I just have a lot of questions like
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So
I don't get it.
Yeah, if you like the season 8,
try
I
to
mean,
fully explain that to
jeez.
me.
You are in the mine. You are the ever-growing Dothraki, which apparently just populate like an asexual
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there are any Dothraki women left.
Oh, man.
Life finds a way, apparently, in fucking Westeros.
I just saw Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Remember?
Yes, me too. Of
Remember?
course.
Duh.
Remember?
Remember?
You were
Do
there.
I ever?
I wasn't
Because
there.
it's in our episode catalog.
Oh, check
Which
it
you
out.
should subscribe to the show while you're at it, son. Open up that
son.
app.
Tell it to him,
Subscribe.
Bill Murray.
Ooh, I love this microphone. I'm a dog. Hi, baby boy.
And if you like,
All right, Bill.
and if you like this show, then like this show. Give it 5 stars.
5 of them.
Oh, of course, we're doing that. Yes, of course. Give it 5 stars. Give us a nice rating and review. We would love that.
Leave a
We
little
didn't do it at the top of
commento.
the show because we had so much to cover.
Yeah.
But let's end the show before
On something
plugs
happy.
with a little bit of shout outs or shutdowns. Who should we start with first?
I wonder.
Oh, gee.
You know what? I don't think I have anything this
I don't
week.
think, you know what?
Oh.
Me neither. What?
Yeah, I got nothing. No, I got some pretty great news. You guys know.
We do.
Yeah, I'm going to be a dad. So.
What? Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so pretty crazy. Really
I thought
excited.
you started a blog. I thought that was the great news.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, I'm starting a daddy blog now. How to parent correctly. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Coming from Bloggy Tomers over
from
here.
Bloggy Tomers. No, I'm gonna be a dad. Courtney's gonna be a mom.
Yay!
In case you're wondering,
Our Harry Potter lady, the Hermione of the podcast.
the Hermione of the podcast.
Mhm.
Pretty exciting.
She's a mom, and apparently
Hermione.
she is. We had to keep.
Hermione.
We had to keep it super secret town.
We had to hold it in for a little bit because just didn't want to let the peeps know till 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. I just went to the doctor today with her. Got some sweet ultrasound, saw baby foot. Oh my gosh.
Do you know the sex?
Yes, I do. It's funny because before I tell that, I've told Kane the sex like 3 times.
I know the sex.
Yeah, and each time Kane's surprised. At least he seems to be. But Kane is the first person who found out about the name and the sex.
That's right.
So you do
The
know.
very
do
first
know.
person out of it was me, Courtney, and then Kane. I just happened to we just did a podcast, And I was like, and I told him. And then he was still surprised every time. And
That's right.
I was like, dude, that was huge for me. But
Tune in next week when Kane asks Tommy what the sex of the baby is.
What's the sex of your baby?
It's
wait a minute.
Wait a minute. What is it? It's a girl.
Oh,
Little girl.
sweet little
Hey,
baby.
it's a little girl. Do you want to say what the name possibly is?
It will be Rory Haven McGuan.
Oh, that is so Irish.
I know.
Rory Haven McGuan.
Welcome to the world, Rory Haven McGuan.
Welcome. This is Santa Clarita.
They're going to say Santa Claus for some reason.
Santa Claus.
Welcome, this is Santa Claus.
Oh, Rory.
Is that your guys' birth plan? To have Santa Claus?
Yeah, that'd be
There?
cool.
Be
It's
your-
October, so maybe Jack Skellington or something.
Oh, the baby's birthday will be in October?
October 11th is the current due date.
What?
So, yeah, I just hope I do a good job.
Oh, I think you're going to be a fantastic pappy.
Thanks, man.
You're going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Your baby's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
I hope. I
And
think
Courtney's
she'll
going to be an
cute.
amazing mom.
Yeah.
It's going to be a smart kid, I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
it will be
Really?
very
I've been
smart
over to
kid.
that house.
Oh, no.
Puzzles and books.
Aw.
Puzzles and
Yeah.
books.
You know
that
what?
kid.
That's what a good family to have children. They're not going to raise their kids on TV and movies. And
Trying not to.
Yeah.
Unless-
You're a step ahead though because you already don't like personally consume and shit done.
And if they ever come
Yeah.
over for a podcast episode, they're going to
Ooh.
be like, what the hell are you three talking about? I've
Can
never
we
heard
have
of
Rory on when
Yeah.
she's born?
Are they
She's
going to
a
at
baby.
least are they
Take it
going
away.
to are they going to at least be able to watch Gilmore Girls?
I'm sure she will. I'm
Yeah.
sure Courtney will show her all the shows. I'll show her like anime, but I want to get her like there's this like REI backpack that like there's the backpacks that you put in your front area, like your chest, like in Hangover, you know, like the famous one.
Oh, for the baby to sit in.
Yeah, and we got one of those, but there's this one from REI that's like a full-on backpacking backpack that you put the baby in. And you like, so I want to get
Whoa.
that, and I'll take her outdoors and
Whoa,
stuff.
this baby's
so.
going to see the world.
Yeah.
My God, that's so great! Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Tommy!
Oh my gosh. So
That's
Game of
fantastic.
Thrones sucked, but Tommy's news rules.
Oh.
Yeah, news rules.
News rules.
News
Aaron
rules.
Sorkin show.
See rules with Bruce rules. Thank you.
Well, you guys want to do
Tim and Eric
some?
last night.
Yes.
You guys want to do some plugs? Plug it up.
Sure.
Plug it up.
Oh yeah.
I have a show when this comes out Thursday night.
Oh.
2-Bit Circus. It's a Salty AF show. Just plug in Salty AF in general. So we'll be in LA and the DC area and hopefully more cities soon.
Oh shit! You going to DC again?
No, but we just remotely did shows like in DC. Me and Katie Book did and the shows went on.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Oh, so you're trying to expand Salty AF as a growing live comedy show
Yep.
that you can go to.
Totally.
That's fucking
Nice. That's sweet.
genius.
Genius. June 5th, I am in Apple Valley at the Wine Cellar.
Ooh.
Saying some jokes. Very fun place. Super cool. Come get a drink. I think it's free. And then June 19th, I'm doing the Arts and Crafts show.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, really? Yeah. With so that'll be fun. I don't know where that is, but
That's at the clubhouse.
it's at the clubhouse. I don't know where that is, but I'm sure that'll be cool. So come on down to the clubhouse. And we should have a garage show coming up soon. I think we're gonna do one in a mansion.
Toy.
Yeah, we're waiting for they're doing some construction in the backyard, but it's either gonna be in their backyard area, in their giant garden grass area, or in their tennis court. So
In
yeah.
their tennis courts.
Oh my God. Oh yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can do a show on our
Yes.
tennis courts. We only use this once a year.
Yeah, we're tired of it, so whatever. So we have options, but that should be coming up maybe in August. So
That'd be
we'll see.
tight.
Dope. I will be in the Irvine Improv this Thursday through Saturday.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, so it'd be
Nice.
pretty awesome. There's 5 shows, and so
You have a lot of
five-
chances to
5
see this.
possibilities, son.
Whoa.
And then we switched everything up on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
So we got it's become the Patreon /store for the Well Actually podcast. So you can go and get shirts and hoodies and all kinds of shit over there. And we do bonus episodes every 2 every month. And so if you want bonus, you want to be a nerd who thinks he knows everything bonus wise, patreon.com/wellactuallypod.
Where can they buy your album?
Oh my God, my
Oh.
album is pre-order available, son.
Oh.
It's on iTunes right now. It's called Can't See Straight, Kane Holloway, Can't See Straight. And you can also, there's a link on my Instagram, in my bio, if you go to Kane Holloway on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Then you'll be able to get my album.
Me too. I'm going to buy that tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, don't be fresh. You got to save your money.
Siri, make a reminder to buy Kane's album tonight at 10 p.m.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Thanks,
Nice.
girl.
Oh, Siri. Oh, and she's all
Nice.
British and shit.
That's when I do my most things, 10 p.m.
Oh, is
Oh,
that
look at you.
I'm a night owl.
Is that your witching hour?
Yeah,
Is that what they call
yes,
it?
exactly.
Yeah. Mine's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I am very productive.
And if you're also listening to I've had a couple people who hit me up and wonder where else can they find the show. It's also on YouTube. So you can look up the show on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel.
Schmootube.
And it's right there. So I think that is, what else? Is that it?
Schmoobloob.
Follow
Schmoobloob?
Tommy at mommy_Taguan.
Oh my gosh, you knew it.
And then you got Holly at Holly Anna Comedy.
One N.
One N.
Really goofed that when I made that Instagram. Whoops.
Oops.
Whoops,
Who needs
daisy.
two?
Who needs two N's? Well, I mean, it's my name. That's my name. Holly Anna Bell spelled with one N.
I thought it
Sure.
was Hannah. Call back.
Oh my God.
Oh, and I have to
It just fades out to that.
And I have to one more plug of the Patreon. If you guys like these hypothetical episode kind of things where we talk about
yeah.
what we thought should happen or whatever, Holly and I did one about how Keanu Reeves is the accidental action hero goat.
Oh,
and
right.
we pit his characters against one another in battle.
Which I will say, I saw John Wick 3 last night, and I'd like to just let you know, Kane, that he is. That definitively, Keanu Reeves is the best action hero.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Best action star.
Thank you.
I don't know why I needed John Wick 3 to tell me that, but I did because
Whoa.
holy fucking shit.
I wish we could talk about it some more. Why don't we save that for future episodes?
Yeah, we
We'll
will.
just do John Wick.
We will.
Oh.
Tommy, get on it.
Yeah, I actually want to see John
It's
Wick 3.
so fun.
Yeah?
So fun.
I
love
feel like
it.
that's right up my alley.
yeah.
It's right up Tommy alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
and you can read all of Tommy's blogs at Bloggy Tommers.
At
Bloggy
bloggytommers.com.
If you say it like 4 or 5 times, you'll remember it. Bloggy
And Tommy
Tommers,
will
Bloggy
appear.
Tommers,
Yeah,
Bloggy
and then I
Tommers.
appear. It's not really a blog website. I just come, turn off the lights in the bathroom
But
and
at
say,
only at 8
Bloggy
a.m.
Tommers.
during
Yeah.
his witching hour.
Only at 8 a.m. and then I show up and like, hey, what's up?
So I think that's it. So let's sign off. Tommy, Holly.
Why do you think I came all this way?
I don't want it.
I don't. I'm Jon Snow. Okay.
I don't want it.
He don't want.
want
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I'm never gonna give you up.
I don't want it. I don't want